So the purpose of this demonstration is to review with you how you'll be able to handle specific workflows related to the print industry in Odoo. So first thing we want to review is we go into a contact record, look at an existing customer, maybe John Doe Inc. You can see we can track all the basic information about this customer, such as the address, specific tags, contact information, etc. Most importantly, if you look up here in the top, this is called the Customer 360. This gives us a complete overview of all the different elements that we have when it comes in play when it comes to this contact, right? We can see opportunities in the sales pipeline and the status for all related to John Doe. We can go through, see any meetings scheduled. We can look at a customer ledger and see if they owe us money. Any tasks. Here's an example of a proof design in the workflow. You can see here help desk tickets. Drill down into a specific ticket. We can also see here any amount invoiced and also production orders that have taken place in the past for this contact. Manufacturing orders, we call them in Odoo. So let's actually go through a workflow. Let's say John Doe gives us a call. The sales rep is going to say, oh, yep, John Doe, we've done business with you in the past. They're instantly, they can be on the phone with the client, have total visibility, right? They can check in and say, I see that, back earlier XYZ this year, you ordered the shirt X. How is that working out for you? You can instantly see the delivery order associated with that as well, right? It's more of a personalized approach. So let's say that John Doe says, everything worked out great last time. We want to do business with you again. We actually want to place an order for a custom shirt that we're going to be putting together, and I need you to help us design it. Your sales rep can go in, quickly create the new opportunity, custom shirt, John Doe, and begin working on it. Maybe, they say it'll be around, 2,000 units, etc. We're not going to quote them yet because we don't even know exactly whether or not, it's going to work, what they want. So the next step here would be to go into the proof manager. This allows us to actually create a fresh proof for this client. We can say custom shirt for John Doe. We can say we want to put it through proof design team to look at it. We want to maybe give it a deadline as to when the proof design team has to execute this. And we can leave notes here. Now, that creates the proof right here from the actual opportunity. You can drill into the proof. You can, like you mentioned, you want to be able to track images and things of that nature here. You can easily track those right here in this task. Now, let's take a step back, right? We were in the contact app, right? We went into John Doe's contact record. We created an opportunity. From the opportunity, we created a proof, and that's what we're looking at now. So someone on the proof team isn't going to usually work through the contact app. They're going to be in the project app. They'll see they have proof design, and right here, they'll have a pipeline of all the different proofs that are going through the process. You'll see the custom shirt proof here, the one we just created for John Doe. Drill into it, right? We'll see the opportunity that this is related to here. We can, of course, drill down into that. In addition to this, you'll see the image that we posted here, right? So it's just everything's online, everything's in the cloud. Anyone in the world, including yourself right now, could access this image if you wanted to. So going forward, we'll work on the proof. We can get it signed off by the customer if we want. Let's just say the proof is finalized. That's when from the CRM or from anywhere virtually in the system, your sales rep will go ahead and create a new quote. Sales rep wants to create a quote. Customer wants what turns out to be the fancy shirt. Maybe they order 1,250 units of the fancy shirt, or let's just make it simple, 15. Gives us our subtotal. We'll send this off to our client to accept and sign. Submit that payment there. Get out of this developer mode. So there it is in my actual Gmail. I can see I can accept and sign this. Your customer will go in. They'll review the work you've put together, right? You can establish attachments and all that here, right? You can In this email, you can leave attachments, attach files, right? We can attach this as well, resend it, see what it looks like when we, second one, right? You'll see all your attachments, everything linked. So your client will check it out, 15 units of the fancy shirt, what we agreed upon. They'll actually do their signature, and watch what happens. Once they sign this, and it automatically processes the order. So if I quickly refresh this, you're going to see automatically delivery order has been created to fulfill the 15 units of fancy shirt. You'll scroll down, you can see here the signature that John Doe left. Everything happened just now, and you can see the specific time, 4:43:29 seconds. So other things happened automatically as well. Yes, the delivery order for the fancy shirt, 15 units, automatically got created just now, as you see here. You'll see it's waiting another operation, meaning it's not ready to go out. We can check availability, but it's not available. So if you look at this through the lens of the inventory app, you'll see we have 4 delivery orders waiting, including delivery order number 5, which is the one for John Doe that we just processed a minute ago. So let's take a step back, see what else happened. If we go look at our proof, you'll see here we automatically have a new production order that was created, and you can access that right from the proof here if you want. You'll also go to the manufacturing app. Automatically, we see we have a new product for, right, the fancy shirt for John Doe. That production order was automatically scheduled. We can see here the product, the quantity to be produced. We can see the customer here. We can see the proof that this all was related to. And all we do is we can drill in and we can access anything right there from the production order. We can look at our contact, right? And we're back here. We see the original opportunities, sales, tasks, all this stuff. Now, what happens is your production team goes through and makes the shirt, right? You'll check availability. Here's the raw materials we're going to consume. I have set this up in the bill of material, right? I said to produce 1 unit of a fancy shirt, it requires 1 white shirt and 0.003 units of the blue ink, just as an example. This will help you manage your stock, because as you are consuming shirts and ink and any other materials involved in the production of these products, you can keep track of them. You can know when it's time to order more ink, when it's time to order more of this particular type of shirt, etc. So it'll help you make sure that you don't leave customers waiting, and you don't stall orders up or anything like that. So once you do this, you'll be able to click produce, and we'll see we want to make 15 units of the fancy shirt. We'll give it a unique lot number, and we'll record the production. Just like that, you'll see it moves the inventory around. We can drill in and check that out. But once we mark as done, then that's the end of it. It's done. This is now in our stock. And you'll see all these stock moves are done. The white shirt went from stock to production. The blue ink went from stock to production. And then 15 units of fancy shirt went from production into our stock. So in addition to that, we'll have a cost analysis. So you'll be able to break out here the actual raw materials and their cost. In this example, I don't have any costs scheduled. I didn't pay anything for these shirts, so it won't show up. But you can see that here. You could also plug labor in. If you want to track labor per each order, you can have a labor fee associated per each unit of shirt, or however you want to break it out, so that also rolls up into the cost. And this is going to be important, because if you want to start to have visibility on the margins of your sale orders and things like that, in order to calculate that, you're going to need to know what the cost of production was. So we can explore that in an additional demo, but yeah, you'll have that option here. So now that we've consumed these, and if we go back to our inventory app, you'll see we used to have 4 waiting, but now you'll see we only have 3 waiting and 1 to do. If we open up what's to do, we'll see here it's the one for John Doe, our sale order number 5. For the 15 units of the fancy shirt, it's already been reserved. The system knows automatically it's time to ship this out. You and your team can print out your picking operation, however you want to handle it, right? You'll go into stock, you'll pick out your units, you'll put them in a box, you'll ship them out the door. Before I go and process this, I also want to check out the inventory. Just to show you here, we have what we have, right? We have 11.96 units of the blue ink left. We have 15 units of the fancy shirt. We have some shirt X on hand, 10,000 units, and we have some white shirt. We have 125,000 units of these. So full visibility into stock. Let's go ahead and move this order out the door. So we'll confirm, right? You'll scan them in, you'll mark this in, confirm it, validate, ships this out to your client. You'll also have traceability on this order, so we can drill down. We can see when did this, right, where did this all come from? We can see the particular ink and the particular shirt that we brought in order to fulfill this order. We can see it was brought in through an inventory adjustment because I didn't actually go through and buy them, hence why there was no cost associated. I just adjusted the inventory to reflect those quantities in stock. See here, total downstream traceability. If anything ever happens, if ink is fading from a shirt, or if there's anything involved with like material decay of a product you sold a client, you'll always have downstream visibility for every order to know, here's when we bought these shirts, here's where we bought this ink, the specific date, time, all that. It's all tracked in here. So you'll have a pretty tight, air-sealed production process. So once that was shipped, you can also go to if you go to sales, right, I have it set to invoice on delivery. Look at our orders to invoice. You'll see we have a whole bunch of them. One of them is John Doe. And we can, guys, you'll check that delivery. You'll see it's been marked as done. So now we can create our invoice. And the system will always tell you it's time to invoice because it'll be up here in green. Oh, this is called the green action button. It's the next logical step in the workflow. If we go to another order here, such as, I think they all might be ready to invoice. Yep, they are. So back here, we'll create our invoice for this client. Create and view. Right, I'm doing this manually. You can actually automate the entire invoicing process. If you have clients who pay you before you make the shirt, not a problem. We can set up the credit card processor in here. It'll automatically process payment, automatically create the invoice, validate it, which is what I'm about to do manually, which posts the journal entries. I can see those journal entries here, right? Accounts receivable debited, product sales credited. And then once I register my payment, which I can do directly from the invoice like this, or I can do it through the accounting application. Here, I can see we're waiting payment, $187.50. I can go to my payments, create, say I just got a check from John Doe, let's say, for this amount, confirm it, and the system will automatically give you payment matching recommendations. Just like that, it'll tell you, it'll say this is what needs to be matched. This invoice with that payment, reconcile. This cute thing comes up letting you know, hey, it took you 7 seconds, you did one transaction. If we go to our invoices, you'll see we only have one marked as paid, which is set order number 5 for the $187.50. So that, of course, will reflect on our, if we do a general ledger overview, right, it's all gonna give us that visibility that we need. So in a nutshell, that is kind of how a lot of companies who are doing print, production, etc. work in Odoo. There is additional, functionality that I didn't get into. If you ever outsource, particular print jobs to vendors, then obviously you're going to use the purchasing app, and you need to, have specific pieces of information be communicated to your vendor. All that is doable in the system. If there's anything else that you want to see around print production as Odoo can handle it, feel free to contact me via the email in the description of this video. Thanks so much for listening, and hope you enjoyed.